Dame, since you always, push ownership and entrepreneurship and all that, do you feel like, I want to talk about the pandemic really quick, those that had that mindset of reinventing, like you've always reinvented yourself and think outside of the box. So you think those people did okay during the pandemic, and that's why having ownership and being this type of entrepreneur is important, because we don't know when stuff like that is going to happen?
1,000,000,000,000,000%. If you didn't own your stuff, if it wasn't your job, you had to listen and wait and worry. And you had to be a slave to somebody else's rhythm, But during the pandemic, as work, I got more productive because in a safe way, because I'm not working with so many people, because I own everything, because I could make the environment safe. I made 3-4 movies, magazines, it was one of the more productive times in my life. And I couldn't have done that if I had to ask somebody, can we work today? Will you pay me? And all these things that come with that. Also, residual income. That was key. Having money coming in for shit that I did 10 years ago while I'm sitting by the pool now. So residual income. Now, if you don't own it and you're just getting a fee for it, 10 years later, you're going to be tight about it. There's my little man right here. Little Spanish meat.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, baby.
Yeah, that's my little man right there.
God bless you.
She got a little stand.
Listen, now the pandemic was tough, even for owners. You had some people who they put all their life savings into their business or whatever, and it failed because the government shut them down. So it was even tough for owners during this time.
Well, that's why I said residual income is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I understand that, but I think, again, moving forward, when you set up a business or you're going to invest in something or dream, if it can't sustain a pandemic, it's the wrong dream, because, this could happen again. So if you're preparing for the old world, it's like saying, I want to get back on the Titanic, after it already hit the iceberg. And you should embrace the new world because, for most people, for the masses, the old world wasn't a great place for them. It didn't behoove them. So it's a great time to think about the narrative for what you want the new world to look like and do new things, because only new things are going to work right now. Old things are not going to sustain it. Oh, where'd this come from?
That's your surprise.
Where'd this come from?
We got it yesterday.
Wow, I'm shocked. I would have been really shocked if you didn't say nothing. I ain't gonna lie. I would have been really shocked. So I was down to crumbs. You know what I mean? I was like, go get a pen. Like, I don't even want to see crumbs. And they got a surprise in this bond. I got a little, because I can get through the interview now. So anyway, so as I was saying, it's important to prepare for the new world, embrace it. Don't be scared. Look forward to it and dream. Think about and visualize what you want the new world to look like for you and for your family. And, you kind of know where you want to go, but, and people want to go the same place, but there's a different path to get there for everybody. So you just have to figure out your path. So one path might not work, find another path. Because if somebody found a path, that means you should be able to find it. But there is always a path to get where you want to go, and every path isn't for everybody. So you have to figure out your path and get there easy and fast.
Well, you mentioned you did 4 movies during this time, and for those just tuning in, we got Damon Dash, the mogul, the director, and that's something that people forget about you.
Yeah, right.
You're a director, and I was watching you on Boss Talks, talking to the director of Idlewild, and I'm like, hold on,
that's my man.
Do you feel like you're underrated as the director?
I mean, I feel like I'm overrated as a human being, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like a superhero. Me doing everything is normal to everybody. So they're like, oh, he designs. Oh, like literally the OSG logo, I designed this. I make clothes. I really do. I do that. People underestimate the fact that I pay for everything. They underestimate the fact that I act.
whatever the circle is.
We say?
Is that a lot of pressure because you're overrated like that? They just expect you to be great at everything. Is that a lot of pressure?
No, ain't no pressure to be great. That shit comes real easy. I just like doing it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no pressure at all. Like, I'm not really that worried about what people are thinking so much. You know, it's like a thing I could be like, don't forget I directed that. Don't forget I designed that. Don't forget I discovered that. Don't forget I did it first. You know, it's just part of my game. I'm playing a different game than most. So things don't frustrate me like things will frustrate other people. Insecure people get frustrated about what people think. Rocky, tonight is your day. Today's your day, right? Insecure people get frustrated over the fact that they're not doing shit. And they're always worried about what other people are thinking. I'm doing stuff. So what you see, it's like, I'm so light in my brain. I'm in the future. So I barely expect people to see it anyway. They get it later. You know what I mean?
You know, you showed, we talk, I guess we're kind of talking about cannabis. You mentioned you were waiting for your surprise, right? And you're always ahead of the curve. Did you see the cannabis business getting to the point where it's being legalized in so many states in America?
I was selling legal weed 5 years ago in Vegas. I was selling legal weed, what was that, 3 years ago? 3 years ago in Vegas. You know? And that shit is too fucking hard. Pause. I ain't gonna lie. Once it got legalized and the government got involved and it got to be clean and seed to sell, growing that shit to me is a nightmare unless you're really doing that shit. You know, once there's regulation in anything, it's not as easy. Right. And there's more competition, it's more cash intensive. It's big risk in that shit too. Don't think it's sweet. The thing, you know, of course, I knew that it was going to be legal. And I knew that they weren't going to roll it out like liquor and say, okay, liquor's back. They were going to make, because then every criminal would become an upstanding citizen like a, you know, Kennedy or Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they made sure they did it state by state, regulated to where if you did sell drugs, you cannot sell this. You better have a bank account. You better have the money up front sitting. All type of shit. You know, you have to be really sophisticated about things you weren't sophisticated about before if you were a drug dealer. So it's not as easy. I think it's easier to sell liquor right now. And bum weed. Like, you know, when you make something mass, I personally don't like I don't go to the dispensary for weed. I don't like stuff that I you know, it's too mass. So I think the weed business is a great opportunity for people to make money, but I don't think they should think it's easy because it was easy when it was illegal. Once it's legal, it's whack.
Damon Dash Studios?
Pardon?
Can you tell us about the origins of Damon Dash Studios?
Well, hey, look at that. Put it on. Oh, nice. He's killing it to me. It's in the back right there. Bang. So, you know, I think since like 2005, that was my thing. I was like, oh, there's the internet. That's distribution. Now I could just have my seen. And because I was making fashion, music, and movies, I was like, it makes no sense for me not to have a television network, make my own movies, and have everybody buy the clothes that I'm wearing. Remember, I did state property, and all the movies I would make, all the clothes and all my products would be in there. So I'd be like, that'd be fly if while you're watching it, you could just buy it. That's the store. That's the best commercial, and while people are inspired, they can buy it. So, you know, when Netflix was in supermarkets and like that, or physical, I was still building streaming. I had DD172, which was, you know, 10,000 square feet in Tribeca. And I had creative control with Kudi and Shike, which was an internet television network. And this was before YouTube was even paying commercials. I was just practicing. I was the one that brought out 5Ds. Cannon gave me my collective 2 or 3 5Ds, and we went ham. And no one understood how we could make things in quality so cheap. And we actually showed people how to do it. I invented the term webisode. Like, I don't want to sound like I invented yes, y'all. But when I did Black Rock, pause, with the Black Keys, I built the website that had radio stations, channels, pictures, and webisodes. And it was called Webisodes. And this is in 2009. And I was putting them out consistently. So building technology sucks. You know, it's worse than building a building sometimes. It breaks down and the motherfuckers that are doing it are in another country. It sucks. So I was always waiting. Like, remember, I put out Losades through Vimeo like 5 years ago. And then I put out Honor Up in the theaters and on television and on the streaming service like 5 years ago. So this model has always been the model I wanted, which is happening today. So I made and launched the app about last year, 2 years ago. And what was really innovative about it was the fact that it has a point of view. All the programming is original. There's movies, there's, docuseries, there's all types of, but it's about independent thinkers, like-minded people that have self-awareness, want to stick together and like that. And it was cool. It's doing well. But hold on. I was licensing it from the technology from Vimeo. And I didn't like the way they treated me. And a lot of people do that. And it didn't have the functions I wanted. So I relaunched it. And now while you're buying or while you're looking at stuff, you can buy stuff. You can get books. You can get music. You can get clothes. You can get food. So it's Netflix plus Amazon at the same place.
So what does it cost?
It costs $7.
What does it cost? Before you get out of here, we got a minute left. What does it cost for people to download the app and use it?
$7 a month. But you can get the first week free. Dame-studios.com. Some bugs right now, so I'm not gonna do the app for another week. But you can go to Dame-Studios right now and get it. And it's fly, it's innovative, and watch Disney start doing it and Netflix. Another industry I'm gonna be number one first doing. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Netflix? It's my pleasure chopping it up with you. Make sure you guys go down to Dame Studios, man. Thanks a lot for your time, Dame, and good luck with everything.
Appreciate that, bro.
Salute.
Oh, you know what I meant to tell you? I'm going over terrestrial television like March 1st. I'll be on regular television in Charleston, LA, and New York, maybe, and Atlanta, definitely. But, we'll do another interview about that. For now, it's the app, but DTV is a whole nother thing. Thanks, y'all.
If you want another amazing video with the one and only Dame Dash, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.